Okay, in this video, I'd like to talk about 5G, the 5 Great Lakes of Michigan, and the Electric Avenue. So let's get started. Okay, if you're not familiar with Michigan, this is the Upper Peninsula here, and this is the Lower Peninsula here, and it's separated by a 5-mile stretch of open water between Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. The dividing line is the Mackinac Bridge, which is a 5-mile chunk of steel laid across the open water right here. Now, the 5-mile chunk of steel is acting as a giant antenna because I used to live next to the cable hub where all the fiber optics and everything came in for the city. And I would talk to a technician that would stop by and check on all the equipment there. And he knew that I was doing weather remodification with my pyramids by breaking up the chemtrails and all the clouds and stuff. And we talked, and he told me he had a spectrum frequency analyzer in his car. And I asked him what was the craziest thing that he ever seen it do. And he said when you drive across the Straits of Mackinac here on the bridge, he said that thing lights up like a Christmas tree. And I said, why? He said there's so many frequencies being blasted across this area right here. He said the thing just lights up like crazy. And I said, well, what did they tell you it was for? And he said that it's for the military so that they can use ELF and use the lakes as a reflector to bounce signals to talk to subs at sea. And when I heard that, I immediately knew what was going on. So what they're doing is, this is the Electric Avenue. With all these frequencies running across this bridge, look, radio frequency has the same fingerprint as AC high voltage. And radio frequency current at high frequency, there's no resistance. So what they did in my area is they just ran a new 22-mile stretch of these high lines. This is AC high voltage. Okay, just like I said, it has the same fingerprint as AC, or radio frequency has the same fingerprint as AC. So what I'm saying is, with radio frequency, this whole thing is tunable. With all these cities having cell phone towers that are about getting ready to go to 5G, it's going to be steerable. Those 5G beams work on line of sight, so it's going to be a steerable beam. So they're testing in the area. Like I said, this place that I live, it's Rogers City, and it's just off the coast of Lake Huron. And it's so heavily weather modified that I actually built my own pyramids here out of concrete. And I started remodifying all their chemtrails that they're spraying because I'm sick of them clouding up the sky and spraying all the stuff over my property. So I started doing weather remodification while these idiots are trying to spray up the sky. My pyramids are taking all their stuff out. So everywhere my pyramids are, there's a vortex in the area that rips up all the clouds. See, I had one here and then I had one north of town. So I set my pyramids up back in 2014, and everything around here in this area has really stepped up since that time. So what's going on is they started here at this place called Rockport on the lake, and they strung all these power poles, and they're heading towards Sheboygan with it, up towards the Straits. What they did is they basically just strung up a huge electric fence, because this whole thing's about control. It's about controlling the humans, it's about controlling the weather, and it's about controlling all the UFOs that they can't keep out of the airspace around here, because there's so many of them. This is what I want to point out in this article from the paper. Okay, a 22-mile stretch of 177 poles. Okay, the higher up are marking this project with their numbers. 22 and a 77, those are both master numbers. Just like 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 66, 77, 88, 99, those are all master numbers. Okay, it's masonry. So they're marking this project. This MJ Electric is a highly technical group specialized in super high technology. Look at this date for the Highline project. It started November 22nd, 2020. 22, 22. They're marking it with their master numbers. This ain't no little deal. Okay, what they got set up here are these buoys. This is one that washed up in Rogers City Marina. So this thing started off in the Straits. It was on the west side of the bridge, they said. And it went all the way down the coast to here because of super heavy storm. Now they're monitoring these things. This says it's a state-of-the-art monitoring buoy. And they're monitoring this whole deal. They're monitoring the water, they're monitoring the sky, because they have these Boeing ghost planes that are painted white that fly nonstop 24 hours a day this area. Because not only does the military do a lot of weather modification here, they also have their UFO government craft that they test all around this whole area. So they keep these planes monitoring the atmospheric conditions. They keep all the ground monitoring stuff going. And then they got the buoys in the water. So they're monitoring everything at all times. So like I said, you have all your cell phone towers staked along here, way high up in the air, and they're getting ready to go to their 5G, so they're doing testing. Now, what am I talking about? Okay, these are from the local paper. These are some of the testing before they go to their 5G on what their system's doing right now. Okay, the people probably around here, this area, think it's all coincidence, but all these rainbows started popping up over Lake Huron. Okay, this one was from April 1st, 2021. So if you're looking at the lake, this thing would have been set up just like this. Now, here's another test. This one is from October 28th, 2021. So here's your spring test, and here's your fall test. Look how much bigger this thing is. And it's in the same exact spot. That's no coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidences. That's a test. They're testing to see what they can do with the light spectrum and bouncing, like I said, the reflectiveness of the lakes. They're using the lakes just like a giant mirror. All that water reflects all that light. So they're just doing testing out here right now. This is a little area, and recently, even the governor has just visited Rogers City within the last couple weeks, because there's major stuff going here that nobody even knows about. Our airport's expanded and looks like something that's just been completely redone for such a small little town. There's a lot of action going on here, and it's no coincidence what they're doing. Like I said, this is the Electric Avenue. There's so many frequencies that are bombarding this bridge that is acting like a giant antenna. And like I said, it's a 5-mile chunk of steel. And we just recently this summer, at the beginning of the summer, had a tornado that started here at Gaylord, 45th parallel, and ran straight for the substation where they're feeding this high voltage line that they just started at Grand Lake here. And it destroyed a lot of people's roofs in the area. Record size hail, bigger than your hand. People never seen stuff like this. So this tornado started, like I said, here and headed straight for the high voltage line at Grand Lake. So it's no coincidence, but people around here can't put two and two together at all. So this is why I'm making this video, showing y'all what's going on. 5G, the 5 Great Lakes, Mackinac Bridge, the Electric Avenue. Like I said, they said it's all about bouncing the signals from either the water or the earth to the ionosphere. Just like Tesla was always trying to do. It's about that. Either the earth to ground, the ionosphere to ground connection, or the ionosphere to the water. There's a lot of energy that can be stored. So that's what they're doing. You're seeing torsion field effects from this whole thing. And the military is playing with the torsion field just like I'm playing with it with my pyramids here. So I just want to make this video and let y'all know what's going on in Michigan. Thanks for watching.